Transforming a sterile wireframe into a professional interface often starts with a search for the right color palette. But instead of picking colors at random, we can look to the balanced proportions of a rugged mountain landscape for a structural blueprint. In this walkthrough, we are going to extract 5 specific colors from an alpine environment to build a high-contrast interface for a data analytics platform. Instead of guessing, we will use a structural framework modeled on how colors are naturally distributed in this specific environment. Research into biophilia suggests that humans have an innate affinity for the natural world. By mimicking the color relationships found in a landscape, we can build digital spaces that feel balanced and intentional. We'll start with this high-resolution photograph of an alpine scene. It is dominated by pristine white snow and deep, shadowed granite. This biome is defined by sharp light and thin air, which create the crisp, high-contrast palette often associated with precision and clarity. Using a digital eyedropper tool, we'll first sample at least 20 distinct hues from across the image, including the clear sky, the exposed rock faces, and the deep shadows. A common mistake at this stage is only selecting the brightest, most saturated colors. This is the vibrancy trap. If every color in an interface is a highlight, the design becomes visually loud and difficult to navigate. A functional palette requires the more muted neutrals and shadows that provide the actual structure of the landscape. To organize these samples, we use the 60-30-10 rule. This is a heuristic based on the typical distribution of a landscape: a massive foundational color, a supporting middle ground, and rare, sharp accents. If we look at our alpine photo, the snow and sky take up the most surface area, followed by the rock, with the vibrant ice and moss appearing only in small pockets. We sort our swatches to match that same hierarchy. For our 60% dominant background color, we select this clean, airy white. We'll call it Fresh Snow, hex code FDFFFC. For the 30% secondary color, we pulled a cool, blue-toned gray from the rock shadows. This is Shadowed Ice Gray, hex code 8B93A3. For our 10% accent, we look to the striking, rare blue found deep inside a glacial crevasse. This is Glacial Blue, hex code A1D2CE. Finally, we need a high-contrast color for our text. We pull a near-black charcoal from the exposed granite, hex code 4A4A48. By isolating these specific codes based on their prevalence in the photo, we have a structured toolkit ready for a digital layout. Before applying these to a UI, we have to verify that they are actually functional. We test the mathematical contrast ratio between our dark text color and our light background color to ensure readability. The exposed granite on Fresh Snow produces a ratio of 10.74 to 1. This exceeds the highest accessibility standards, ensuring the text is legible even for users with visual impairments. Now we can map these colors to a wireframe for a data analytics dashboard. We fill the main background with our 60. This intentional, proportional mapping creates a clear visual hierarchy that tells the user exactly where they need to look first. By comparing the final UI to the original photograph, we can see how the digital layout mirrors the natural balance of the mountain. The result is an interface that projects a sense of high-end precision because it uses the same clean, sharp relationships found in the alpine environment. Because this layout mimics the hierarchy of a landscape, where the most abundant colors are the least demanding on the eye, it creates a more intuitive experience. The brain recognizes the familiar environmental pattern, making the information easier to process. This framework is adoptable. You can use the same process to extract a grounding palette from a forest or a calm, expansive palette from a coastline. Nature provides a vast library of balanced color systems. By learning to extract these patterns, we can build digital spaces that feel grounded, intentional, and easier to navigate.